What's up, guys, and welcome to episode number 3 of Brometheus Gaming. I'm Robert.
And I'm Nick.
How are things going in the land of the rising sun, sir?
The land of the rising sun is glorious. It is awesome. I recently went to Kanamura Matsuri, which is, in English, the festival of the steel phallus. Would you like to know more?
Yeah, sure, why not?
So, as the legend goes, there was a woman who had a demon, let's just say, inside of her. And on her wedding night, it castrated her first 2 husbands. So she implored a blacksmith to find some way to remove this demon. So he fashioned a steel phallus with which to destroy the demon's teeth so that she could finally be wed. And so this steel phallus is now enshrined in in Kawasaki, Japan. And annually they celebrate it by selling penis and vagina shaped lollipops and parading giant penises throughout the shrine.
Well, you don't get that here stateside, so...
Yeah, definitely not. I got some really funny pictures. But definitely a fun experience.
Nice.
Yeah. So, other than that, fairly normal.
Yeah, but just besides that, besides the penis festival.
Yeah. Sorry you couldn't be out here for it. I know you would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm sure I would have found it entertaining, to say the least.
Oh, definitely. So, yeah, let's go back to game talk, because that's what this is about, right?
Yeah. Alright, yeah, let's get right to our first little news subject here. Nintendo issues statement on the Mario Kart 8 Wii U bundle. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, so recently, a couple days ago, there was a picture floating around the nets showing a Wii U bundle with Mario Kart 8. Sounds awesome, right?
Yep.
From looking at the package, it displays clearly a box copy of Mario Kart 8, which would be lovely because, as a collector, yourself and I, physical copies are far superior to getting a digital download with the bundle.
Yeah.
So what did Nintendo actually say about it, though? Because we know at this point it's just a rumor.
Yeah, basically, it was just the most vanilla answer they could give. They just are quoted as saying, a representative of Nintendo said, "We don't have anything to announce at this time."
So they didn't deny it, but they didn't confirm it.
The way it sounds to me, it sounds like they're just not ready to make the announcement. Just because a rumor comes about doesn't mean they're going to push up any announcements or anything like that.
Right.
You know, there's always going to be speculation in the video game industry. But this totally makes sense for Nintendo. They've had a GameCube Mario Kart Double Dash bundle, and they had the Mario Kart Wii bundle also. So, and this is definitely going to be something I think that would help push Wii U sales. In fact, this makes it a system seller for me.
Oh, definitely.
Especially if that's a physical copy, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's a game I would purchase anyway, so as far as I'm concerned, that makes the system $250, which is right where I feel comfortable paying for it.
Mm-hmm. And given that they didn't outright deny the rumor, to me it almost confirms it.
It's kind of interesting that they, in fact, even addressed the rumor.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, especially if you're not going to make a statement on it.
Right. I mean, just give it a week or two, we'll probably hear something, because the game is slated for release a month from today. Yeah.
Yeah, May 20th.
Yeah. And it is April 25th. Oh, it's 4:20 today.
Yeah, well, in your time right now, it's still as of recording this, it's still only 11 o'clock at night on the 19th here.
All right, well, let's move on to other news. We don't need to linger on the date. So,
Yep.
Final Fantasy III, rumored to be coming to PC.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about this?
Yep. What? Well, you obviously know a little bit more about me. Why don't you take this one?
Well, according to a listing on the German Entertainment Software Self-Regulation Body, Square Enix has registered for Final Fantasy III on the PC. It looks like, rumor-wise, it's going to be a port of the DS remake. Now, let me make this clear. This is Japanese Final Fantasy III, not American Final Fantasy III, which was actually 6.
Mm-hmm.
This is the third Final Fantasy ever released.
That came out on the Famicom.
Right. So
it's the original version.
Right. So the DS remakes got the 3D chibi models, few little improvements here and there. I would be interested in picking up the PC version, even though I own the DS version, especially if they add any improvements, because I really do like having my saves on the PC where I can back them up to different locations instead of relying on, say, a memory card or a cartridge to ensure that I still have it later on down the line.
Well, how far did you make it into the DS version?
Sadly, I only got about halfway in, and I ended up losing the cart somehow. Go figure, tiny little SD card, how could I ever lose that? Ended up rebuying it, haven't gotten back into it yet, but if this rumor does hold true, I think I'll just pick it up on PC and play through it again there. It just makes sense.
If they follow the price model of the other Final Fantasies that they released on iOS, it should be, what, about $14.99?
Yeah.
Sound about right?
And on Steam, they released 7 and 8. It's never exceeded $15 for one of these re-releases, so it should be a good, decent bargain buy for your money.
I'm sure people think that's a lot comparatively to 99-cent games on the marketplace, but you're getting a full fleshed out, 30 to 60 hour game here.
Yeah, you're getting a real game. You're not getting a watered down mobile version. You're getting your entertainment value per dollar spent.
Definitely. All right, you ready to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, what do we got up next?
Let's talk numbers here.
All right.
This is unavoidable, I guess, in this day of age, because it's always been a giant competition, and it's always, who everybody wants to see who's first. And although I don't think it's really as relevant as people make it to be, I think everybody's doing well enough. So
who's on first?
We have some numbers here. Sony and Microsoft have announced a figure, a close estimate of what they've sold so far.
Oh.
And let's see, we had over a million PS4 pre-orders. We've known that forever, but apparently Sony has said that they have sold over 7 million units.
Jesus.
Microsoft has stated as shipping 5 million units, and there's speculation that probably 500,000 or maybe even slightly more are still on store shelves.
That makes sense.
Yeah. As far as I've seen, because I've seen the Xbox One in stores.
Oh, yeah.
And the PS4 has not always been. I've seen it also, but it's not.
The PS4 doesn't stick around on shelves very long.
It's not a very common thing still.
Whereas I could go out today, just walk up to the store and grab an Xbox One. PS4, I'd have to keep an eye out.
Yeah. So, what I take from this is it's not that big a gap. It's probably less of a gap than people even thought. I'm sure Titanfall is going to really push some Xbox Ones.
Yeah, didn't Titanfall lead the game sales for the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think it already might be the best-selling game on Xbox One, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that considering the lack of competition, I would not be surprised.
Mm-hmm. I don't see a number on the copies of Titanfall, but that looks to be correct from what I can tell.
I'd be really interested in seeing some numbers for games sold per platform, just to get an idea.
That list is out there, and I think the best-selling PS3 game right now is Call of Duty Ghost.
For PS3, you said?
No, for PS4.
PS4, okay. Yeah, makes sense. There really isn't a good console mover out for either of them for me, considering Titanfall's out on the 360. Infamous Second Son, it looks good, but it's not a console seller.
I haven't played any of the Infamous games, have you?
I have not. I've heard great things about them. I own the first one for PS3. Haven't gotten around to it yet, which I can say for a lot of games that I've picked up within the past 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Huge backlog to get through.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks good. It's gotten decent reviews. People are saying it's not as good as the first ones, which I don't know how that is. But considering that there's only less than 20 games for each console, I think that's a fair statement, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just not ready to make that leap yet. Also seeing that Titanfall's being bundled with the One now for $450, which, if you'll note, that's actually $50 off the console alone. So really, you're getting the console for about $400 in a game with it. I think the longer I wait, the better deal I'm going to get for the system.
Yeah, that's definitely a interesting bundle. It's still, unfortunately, maybe a little out of my price range at the moment. I think there might be... I'm not exactly sure at this moment. I'm assuming I'm probably going to buy the Wii U first, but, you know, this is all up in the air. Who knows what could happen? I could have the impulse buy of any of them any day, so...
Well, it is true that the Wii U is struggling at this point, but they've actually got a fairly solid lineup this point.
Oh yeah.
Within the next year, it's going to be...
out of the three, the Wii U has the best lineup by far.
Definitely. I mean, you've got a good set of Mario titles. You've got the new Super Mario Brothers. You've got the 3D World. You've got... what came out recently? Well, we've got Mario Kart 8 coming out. We've got...
Pikmin 3.
Pikmin 3. Smash Brothers this year. Wind Waker, of course. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Just any Nintendo game, you're gonna get your value for the money. Whereas, sure, you may not have your Call of Duty. Actually, Ghost did come out on the Wii U, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can stop you there for a second. I can honestly say, and not to sound like a complete Nintendo fanboy here, but Super Mario 3D World is probably the best exclusive out of all three systems right now.
Oh yeah, it really brings me back to my Mario 64 days almost, but combining it with Super Mario World at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds like a match made in heaven to me.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely an awesome game. Highly recommend it for anybody who has a Wii U, or even if you don't, just go get it.
I've dabbled, I played a little bit of it. I played a little bit of it with you actually before you left for Japan, but
yeah.
I would assume if I was to buy the Wii U Mario Kart bundle, the other game I'd probably pick up would be Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah. And then...
Pikmin 3 is tempting too, and in fact, I have a buy two get one free from the Devil GameStop. So if I don't know, I'm not huge about buying newer games at higher prices, $5 off, but if I have a buy two get one free coupon and I can somehow get like Pikmin 3, 3D Mario World, and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, let's say they have all three pre-owned, that would be a great deal right there. Right?
You'd be paying what, $33 per game about? Not bad. Yeah. I think we should stop being so hard on GameStop. I mean, calling them the devil and all, they're not that bad.
GameStop is the devil, although I did have a decent experience in there the other day after work.
Oh, nice. Do you want to go into that?
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much to say. It's just nice to get an employee just in general who cares about the customers, like, this dude without me even having to ask. When I see a lot of people at game stores, and this is also true of mom and pops, but I see them when they pull out like disc-based games out of the little sleeves behind the counter. They don't look at the disc. They just throw it straight in the case and bring it up to the counter and hope you don't look at it and you hope you don't complain, because 99% of people probably don't care.
Right.
And yeah, this dude actually checked out the disc, and I saw him actually take out a disc, look at it, saw it wasn't acceptable, put it back in the sleeve, and get another copy. So
without even asking.
Yeah, wow. I didn't say anything.
Nice.
So,
yeah. That's good. Okay, so you want to move on to our little bit of a lighter news segment this time around?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you kick this one off?
All right, here we go. So, in the Call of Duty world, there's a new DLC where you can get the announcer voice replaced with Snoop Dogg.
That's interesting.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a sound clip lined up if you want to cue that up, Rob.
Yep, I'm ready. Here it goes.
Squad member active. That's what's up. What up, though? My name is Big Snoop D-O-double-G, and I'm here live and direct with the Call of Duty Ghost version, doing my voice. You dig? Check it out. Ballistic vest ready. Those are some fine-ass threads. You got that Spitfire drone now.
We're here today recording Snoop, and he's doing the MP announcer package.
Rack up points by reaching the enemy portal. You dig? What interests me the most about the project is that my voice can be connected with a game that's so hip and so hood. It says a lot. It's associated with greatness. Squad member active. A brother from another mother. Homies out the joint. It's party time. I think the writers did a good job on creating the lines for me, specifically for me. They knew my flavor, and they allowed me to, do my thing and put a little Snoopism on top of it. Don't stop, cap 'em and shank 'em. Yeah, Chris A. A lot of my homies get down. I mean, it's like 9 out of 10 rappers play this game. I know a lot of us are big fans because it's so real. They put you right in there. Like I say, it's the coolest game in the hood. All my homies play this game. Friendly Trinity rocking sound and inbound.
So what do you think?
I'm not personally a Call of Duty player, but this is definitely interesting and funny. He doesn't like Snoop Dogg or Snoop Lion.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing a price point for that, because if it was free, I think I would definitely put that over the standard announcer.
Oh, definitely. I'll be honest, if I can get a copy of Call of Duty Ghost for like $10 and that was free, I might do it.
Yeah, it is pretty humorous. I enjoy it.
It's definitely something a little different.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see them have fun, with something like this.
Right.
So good stuff. Good stuff this week.
Indeed. So, we've covered our news. Let's talk about personal. What have you done in the world of game collecting this week, Rob?
Let's talk about a little bit of pickups, because I definitely have some interesting ones.
All right, let's see.
Let's start off this first story. I'm going to give a little plug to a retro video game store in the Charlotte, North Carolina area.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Retro Reboot, and they're actually at 315 North Main Street in Pineville. Mm-hmm. And I like to go to this place. It's a little bit out of the ways, but I definitely got a gem from there. And they were the most surprising part is like how nonchalant they were about this particular system being there. Because I know we do a lot of game hunting and hopping, and I've never come across it.
Mm-hmm.
So for $64.99, I got myself a TurboGrafx 16 system.
Oh snap!
With all with the RF and original AC adapter, good condition control. The system is just really clean overall.
Ooh.
And I got a copy of Keith Courage with it, which is just a side-scroller platformer. That was a pack-in title originally with the system when it came out in '89.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the TurboGrafx 16, this might be one of the strangest looking cartridges you've ever seen. This is called a Hue card, or a turbo chip. And it almost is identical in size except thickness to a credit card.
Wow. Have you given it a test run yet?
Oh yeah. I've only, obviously got Keith Courage. They had some more games there, but they were loose. By loose, I mean just Hue card, and I know they usually come in cardboard boxes. Also these come in the cardboard boxes, so I know that's not. But in
a crystal shell case.
Yeah, in my definition for turbo collecting, this is good enough for me. This is what I would consider complete.
Right.
They didn't have anything else, but yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. It's really interesting. If you were to tell somebody, imagine what would be exactly between a Nintendo and Sega Genesis, that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah. The graphics are really nice on the thing. The only thing I'm not a fan of so far is that it only has RF out. There's an adapter for the back that you can get audio, video, or composite out of, but that's a very expensive piece from what I understand.
So you can only play it on an older television?
Yeah, anything with a coaxial, but I mean, it's still not going to look fantastic.
Right.
You know. But besides that, that was my main pickup. I picked that up, I want to say, Tuesday or Wednesday. But other than that, I got some good stuff this week. I got some NES titles right here, 3 of them for $4, I want to say. I got Mickey Mousecapade, which is a Capcom title, and Capcom back in the 8 and 16-bit days was just golden, so I haven't played this one. I've heard good things about it. Glad to add that to the collection. Wizards and Warriors 2, or Iron Sword.
Fabio.
Fabio on the cover right there. I know we played this a lot when we were younger. Always enjoyed those games.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
I just need to get Wizards and Warriors 3. That is a pretty uncommon game.
Right, you have the first one though?
Yeah, and that was that copy of Iron Sword only was $2.
Ooh, nice.
And lastly, on the NES, I got Dr. Mario for $5.
Nice, not bad.
I think everybody knows what Dr. Mario is, though, and I didn't have a copy of it on any system, so I just needed to go and add that.
Nice.
All right. Next is probably 2 games for the system that I pick up the least amount of games for. And that's actually been lately the Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah, those are hard to come by nowadays.
Yeah, and it's usually just really common, the really common titles, but these are both really just in immaculate condition, and I paid close to like Amazon or price charting prices, but they're really good condition. They're both titles I really needed. So for $27, I got Tales of Symphonia.
Ooh.
And
complete?
It is. Oh yeah, it's complete. It's just a beautiful. All the discs, both the discs on this are just flawless.
Oh, that's collection porn right there.
I've been wanting to play this game forever. I love RPGs. I love cell shading, and I love the GameCube. So what's not to like? Yeah,
didn't they release an HD remake of that recently?
Yeah, and it's with one of the other Tales games. I believe it was on PS2. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, that just came out recently on PS3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So can't wait to dive into that. Secondly, for the GameCube, I got Zelda Collector's Edition, and this is the promotional disc that came out.
That's an expensive one.
Yeah, I paid $35 for this, and I remember it is complete, although, the disc is in my GameCube right now.
As it should be.
But I remember getting that for Christmas. You had to either get... No, you had to get a subscription to Nintendo Power, and you either got that for free or you got the collector or the strategy guide. And I know I got the game, and I don't know how I got the collector's edition.
Yeah, I remember us having it.
Or not the collector's edition, the strategy guide. So maybe I had 2 years of Nintendo Power. I don't remember. Yeah,
rest in peace, Nintendo Power.
Yeah, but for back in the day, you could have got both of those for $40, and that game goes easy for $40 nowadays.
Oh yeah, it's a hard find too, especially complete.
Oh yeah, and the disc is immaculate too, so I'll have no trouble from that.
Nice.
All right. Next up, I got some cheap PS1 games, and these came from a combination of Retro Reboot and a pawn shop. The first one up for $2, I got Driver 2.
Nice.
PS1, it is all nice and complete.
You know what's funny? I have Driver 2 for the Game Boy Advance. That thing is horrendous.
Yeah, a lot of ports of console games back in that day were just not the best. Not that there weren't some good ones.
Yeah, the handheld ports, dime a dozen.
There's definitely some rush stuff back in the day.
Oh yeah.
For $2 at a pawn shop, I got Tomb Raider 2.
Nice.
That's complete, but it's got a broken hinge, so I don't want to open it. And lastly, for $2, I got the first Siphon Filter.
Ooh, I remember playing that one.
Yeah, I know we played this a lot back in the day. I think more specifically it was number 2, but I just remember playing a lot of multiplayer. and that was a really good time.
Oh yeah.
Be interesting to see how well that holds up. And for the Sega equivalent, or a system equivalent at the time of the PlayStation, for the Sega Saturn, I added a game I've been looking for a while. I got Road Rash on Sega Saturn.
I remember us playing that one on PC. That game was fun.
If I'm not mistaken, and it doesn't have the foam thing, but it is nice and complete. But if I'm not mistaken, this is a port of that. So I don't know if you can see the back, but if you can see some of the images, it looks exactly like the PC version we played back in the day.
Oh yeah, that was a fun game. Racing plus beating the shit out of people. I mean, what more could you want?
I really can't wait to dive into that one too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so lastly, because this has been going on for a while now, I got some 360 games. This is also a combination of Retro Reboot and the Pawn Shop, and I'm not going to open all these up, but the first one is Top Spin 2. I got this for 99 cents at the Pawn Shop. Love tennis games. The Top Spin series has always been good. I really love the first one. This goes in line with how I'm trying to collect every 360 launch or launch window game. And I remember my good friend Johnny, when he got his 360, this is the first game he picked up. For $1, I got Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter.
Not bad.
And I guess that's more for just nostalgia than anything. This next pickup coincides with a friend at work giving me a 360 Rock Band controller, because I obviously would have never bought it, but for $1 I got Rock Band 2, and I've actually never played this. I stopped playing after Rock Band 1, so for $1 and a free guitar controller,
can't beat that.
Awesome. This next one I got here for $1 also. Another launch window game is Prey, and this is done by 2K and 3D Realms, the same people that brought us Duke Nukem Forever. And I actually really enjoyed Duke Nukem Forever. I don't care what anybody says. It was the second game I got with my PS3.
I still have a sealed copy of it.
That shows you how late I got into the PS3.
I remember us going out to GameStop recently after picking up our PS3s and going to get copies of Duke Nukem Forever, and the guy reaches behind the counter and pulls out 2 sealed brand new copies for the used price of $2.99.
They just had too many of them.
Oh my god, that was awesome though, getting a brand new sealed copy for $3.
And that was like really weird how late into the PS3's life cycle, and we both got the system within like 3 days of each other.
Yeah,
we didn't plan this out. I was just determined, like, I got one really nice paycheck, and I was like, you know what, it's about time to get back into this console generation, which was the current generation at the time. Obviously, it's now one behind, but which is great for collecting now, because these games are just at rock bottom prices.
Oh,
and I have so much to catch up on. I've been getting such great deals. Next up, for free from GameStop, because they had a buy 2 get 1 free, I got Perfect Dark, the collector's edition.
Ooh.
And this was going to be $2, but this thing is immaculate. He's like, do you want the collector's edition? And normally I'm like, no, if it's used, because it'll be real beat up and bad looking. But this looks like it was never touched. For $2, I would have been happy, but free is even better. So, happy to have that.
That is pretty nice.
For $4, I got Condemned Criminal Origins, and this is also a launch window game from Sega. I remember this being one of the first 360 games, and honestly, this thing looks like it was never touched. So, I'm going to have a lot of good times going back into this one. It looks quite interesting. Alright, I saved the best 2 for last. I'll talk about the racing game first, because this is my all-time favorite racing game. After playing it all last night today, it totally reaffirmed this is my all-time favorite racing game. And it's 1A to Crazy Taxi being 1B. And it's Burnout Paradise on the 360.
Ooh, yeah.
This is everything I love in games in my 360. This is everything I love about racing games. Like Burnout 3 back in the day in high school, which is one of my favorite games. I don't know what is just so satisfying about hitting the boost and slamming right or left into your opponent and taking them down. I don't know. Maybe it's my a primal inner animal or whatever. I just want to destroy crap, but I just love it. Everything about it is so great. How it's open, it's like all open-ended GTA style. You can go to any mission at any time as long as you have the area open and do anything you want. There's all kinds of time trials and all that. But there's even better news. I paid $10 for this. When I went in to launch it on my 360, there is actually an update. There was DLC back in the game when this game came out, and I didn't purchase it because it was like $20. But there's other islands that you can download, and there's also new vehicles and bikes, motorcycles, all free.
Ooh, nice.
All free. It was a 1.2 gigabyte update, but I got all that content for free. Basically, it says on my Xbox right now that I have Burnout Paradise 1.9.
Very nice.
So, and I never got to touch that content back in the day, so that's really awesome that they did that. And I don't think a lot of people would do that. So finally, the grand finale of 360 games. This is one that I had the director's cut on PS3, and I'm sure that probably gives it away there, right there. But this is definitely a game in mind I had when I got my 360, and that's Deadly Premonition.
Oh yeah.
And I got this for $5 at a pawn shop.
Nice.
And yeah, I played a little bit of it last night. I replayed the first chapter. And it's kind of like right up my alley, you know. It's survival horror with its own kind of unique twist. And I know a lot of people are split on this one, but as far as I've played into it so far, I think I'm definitely in the camp that enjoys this game.
Nice.
So yeah, definitely looking forward to that one too. I've got a lot of stuff to play now. I had some really good pickups for really cheap.
Great week of pickups, yeah.
Definitely.
Now, since you've been showing off your massive pickups for the week, I'm going to show off some of the stuff I've picked up in Japan recently.
Nice.
So, first thing I want to show off is this very pristine, very complete in box copy of Pokemon Ruby.
Ooh. That's
this
awesome.
is pristine. I've got it wrapped up in a little plastic wrap so I don't screw it up. It's got a little bit of markings along the back, but it's nothing really noticeable. I've had Pokemon Ruby, the American version, for a really long time. It's just nice to see such a well-maintained box of this, because people really didn't take care of their portable game boxes in America very well. It's very hard to find a box copy of an older Pokemon like that anywhere. So, really stoked about that. Another thing I found that I have complete in box, just missing the manual, but this box is absolutely immaculate. Really stoked to find this. Final Fantasy VI.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. I know this is one of your top RPGs of all time.
It's I don't know if it's my favorite or my second favorite on the Super Nintendo.
Between Chrono Trigger, I'm guessing?
You'd be correct.
Yeah. But just look at this box for people actually watching the video. It is absolutely immaculate. No manual, like I said, but I don't even care. This is beautiful. It even says here on the box that it was really freaking expensive when it came out. 11,400 yen down there at the bottom. Which nowadays that would translate to about $110.
Wow.
Yeah. I think the yen was a lot weaker back then, though. It was about 200 to $1. So, yeah, $60 then.
Yeah.
But super stoked about this. I got it for $1 at the recycle shop a couple blocks away from my house.
It's a recycle shop. Is that like the equivalent of a Goodwill
out
there?
Not even. It's like a Goodwill pawn shop where people just take their old electronics and other furniture and stuff that they don't want and dump it, and then they try to resell it. So, yeah, I guess you could say it's Goodwill, but more of a personal owned thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, been showing off some of my older stuff. I'd like to show off a newer thing that I got for the 3DS, which I've put a decent amount of hours into now, probably 10 or so. And this is Senran Kagura Burst. and you can see there is a lot of fan service going on in this game. The basic premise is you're a school of female ninjas, and you go around beating stuff up and other female ninjas. And as you take damage, your clothes, how should I put this, start to deteriorate.
As in normal combat.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of fan service going on in this game, but very fun nonetheless. There's some more fan service on the cover art, or the manual. Yeah, but still, even though it's greatly top heavy, it's a very fun game. Works great with the 3D features of the 3DS as well. And the last thing I wanted to show off was something that I picked up for the Famicom, or as we know it in the United States, the NES. Box copy of Mother.
Oh my goodness.
$15. As most of you watching this probably know, Mother 2 is Earthbound. So Mother 1 and Mother 3 were never released in the United States. I also picked up Mother 2 no box for $10. But if you follow Earthbound prices in America, it's about $200 now for a loose copy.
In fact, we just checked Amazon today, and I think it's starting at $198.
Yeah. So getting it for 1/20th of that price, I can learn Japanese for that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I really want to find a box copy of Mother 3. I went to Super Potato in Akihabara, which is a very popular retro gaming store, albeit slightly overpriced. They had a few copies there, but it was $80 a pop, and I was not looking to pay that much for it. I'm gonna keep holding out and try to find it in the wild like a real collector, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
And I got
$80 would be $80 would be a lot to pay for a Japanese game that you also can't understand.
Right. And I got something else here that's not a recent pickup, but I'd just like to show it on screen for a moment. Something that you don't get to see every day. Box copy of Dragon Quest 1 through 6.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is waiting for you when you get out here, Rob. Little incentive
serious?
For you to come to Japan. Also a copy of 7, but I didn't bring that out here because PS1 casing is entirely different. But pristine copies right here.
Serial.
I'm serial.
That's fine.
Dragon Quest 1 through 6 right here, and 7 when you get out here.
Oh, the Dragon Master is pleased.
Oh, you will be the Dragon Master when you play through all of this.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I don't even know if that's possible to do stateside. Did we get every single Dragon Quest release? I know.
Oh, no.
Wasn't it 6 we didn't even get until that 3DS remake? Or was it a DS?
It was a DS, if I'm not mistaken. Now, you're going to put me on the spot here. Dragon Quest 1, 2, 3, and 4 came out in America as Dragon Warrior 1 through 4 on NES.
Right.
And so I believe that means we didn't get 5 or 6. The first one we got was, after that, was 7 on the PlayStation 1 in 99 or 2000, I want to say.
Oh, yeah. Here's 5 and 6 for you viewers.
Awesome.
It looks super sexy.
Yeah, they eventually got released stateside with DS remakes.
Yeah. But it is nice being able to see them in their natural forms like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks sexy in the collection.
Yep, I'm sure they'll go right up. You know.
Yeah.
It'll probably be the focal point of the collection. Being how big of a Dragon Quest fan I am.
And the great thing about these is most of them I got for around $5, complete in box. Yeah. I think
that's amazing, dude.
the most I paid was like $20, and I believe that was for 1. But this copy of 1 is absolutely pristine.
And that came out in, I want to say, like 86, 87?
Yeah. You would not... This looks like it was never opened almost.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah. You gotta get out here and claim it, man. Gotta go.
I'll be there as soon as possible.
Hunt the wild streets of Akihabara in Japan.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be really interested in when we actually start doing reviews and whatnot on our channel. It's gonna be good stuff and more content than just our weekly podcast, which we obviously intend to still do.
Yeah. So, speaking of Japan, would you like to hear a little more about what we've got going on out here?
Mm-mm.
No?
I'm joking. Obviously, yes. Go ahead, sir.
All right, so arcades in America. How do you feel about those right now?
I don't remember the last time I went. No, I do remember the last time I went to one. Last time I went to an arcade was in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And that was to get my initial B fix.
Right, and
I don't honestly. There used to be one. I had an apartment by a mall here in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little more than 2 years ago, and as soon as I moved into that apartment, that arcade shut down, and that's really the last one that I know of. Besides, there's still like Dave and Buster's, but as far as just full-fledged arcade, I don't remember the last time I really saw one.
Right. So, within walking distance of my apartment, there is a lovely building called Capcom Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Capcom Tower is a 4-floor arcade establishment. 4 stories of arcade.
Wow.
In this strip mall. First 2 floors, you got UFO catchers of popular gaming and anime stuff. You can get Kirby dolls, you can get One Piece figures, you can get Super Sonico, which is a lot of fan service going on with that one. There were swords, there's a handgun model, lots of crazy stuff. Great way to separate a fool from his money with those UFO catchers. I have fallen victim to them a lot, but I do have a lot of babes sitting in my collection now.
Nice.
Which, yeah, it's fun, but frustrating when you realize that you've sunk $20 into a doll that you probably could have just gone and paid $10 for elsewhere, but you want to keep going because you're like, oh, it's so close, I just gotta knock it just a little further. Claw machines, man. Not even once. 3rd floor is more of a pseudo gambling establishment. They've got virtual horse races, pinball machines, all this stuff awards tokens. They've got a Monster Hunter version called, I think it's based off 4 or maybe 3, but it's Monster Hunter Token Hunter. So it's basically gambling with Monster Hunter. It looks really interesting. If I could read it better, I would definitely sink more time into it. But I don't want to start ponying up lots of money to fail miserably. So maybe I'll look up some online tutorials. But the 4th floor was definitely the most exciting part of it. They have a lot of rhythm games. There's this one where it's like DDR with a touch screen where they've got circles flying off to the side and you drag it along. It sounds really retarded, but you get so into it. Yeah, it was really fun. They had a Taito Drum Master, which I'm sure you've heard of. But instead of these crappy little PS2 plastic drums, you've got big full-size drums. You're going at it like crazy. They've got the Mario Kart arcade version, which you get your Namco pass. You can unlock stuff onto your card and save it. Had loads of fun with that one. What else was there? Oh, there are these giant pods, about 8 of them on 2 sides of an aisle, which you get in, and you're in a freaking Gundam.
Nice.
It's a VR Gundam, man.
Wow.
I played around to that. I sucked terribly because I had no idea what I was doing, and I think I picked the worst robot possible. But you have control sticks that you're going up and down. You've got fire buttons. You've got the view in front. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's like 300 yen, $3 for a play, but if you want the real giant robot experience and you don't have Steel Battalion, this may be the next best thing for you. And once again, you've got the card thing you can use to unlock different stuff throughout the game. Really phenomenal setup. I wish they could bring something like that to America, but I don't see it happening.
Unfortunately, I just don't think there's really the market for arcades anymore.
Unfortunately,
I'm sure there are in certain circumstances. I know people have there's a new thing that's been popping up recently. It's called like a barcade. It's just basically an arcade for adults that also serve adult beverages.
Sort of like Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, but definitely not as corporate.
Right.
Know. This is like a mom and pop thing, from what I understand. At least the ones I've heard of. So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's you got to be in a certain market, to
right. You got to
that really succeed.
And that's the thing about Japan. There's this heavy urban environment throughout a lot of the country, which I think is allowing these arcades to succeed because there's just such a dense population. You can keep it filled most of the time.
Definitely.
And there was one more thing that I saw there that I found really interesting. They have RTS card games. Now, have you seen these? Basically,
is it where you actually lay out the physical cards on the board?
Yeah, you've got a couple feet by a couple feet board in front of you with certain zones, and you have these chipped cards which you move around the board to play the game. It's really ridiculous to watch these people getting so into it, and they're swiping it all around, and they've got the card pack vending machine next to it. It looks expensive to get into, but it also looks fun if you can understand it.
Yeah.
Which, didn't Sony release a game kind of like that with the PlayStation Eye?
Yeah, I believe it's called Eye of Judgment.
That's it.
Yeah.
Which, I think that was not as deep of a version of it, but yeah, similar concept. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely looks interesting. I don't think the servers are up on the Eye of Judgment game anymore, so I don't even believe you could really play it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I had a really fun time going and checking that out. Hell, just going to play Mario Kart like that was really fun, except realizing you're dumping in $1 for 3 races.
I mean, that's not horrible. I used to have a $25 a day habit on Initial D.
Yeah, but then you realize you could buy the home version of similar game.
Well, you need to be looking out for some Initial D games out there. In fact, there's one on PS3 I want you to get me. It's dirt cheap, but I don't think there's really been many Initial D games localized here.
Yeah, it's a very Japan thing. I ended up giving you that PC one I found in like Roses.
Yeah, and it's not a great game, man.
Oh, definitely not. But it was like in the $5 bargain bin, and I knew you were a fan.
The cover art alone is enough to keep it on my shelf, although it's on my DVD shelf.
Right.
Yeah, not the shelves behind me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my PC collection I keep separate from everything else. It just... I wish it could be a little more uniform like console games.
Yeah, I don't have much of a PC collection at all. In fact, I think I have one game.
Mm-hmm. So, Rob, I'm curious to know, what have you been playing this week?
Not a lot really this week. I busted out the 32X last night, but unfortunately I believe I'm having problems with my connector cable from the system to the 32X, from the Genesis to the 32X, so I wasn't able to... I messed around with it for a little bit last night, but I was really wanting to play some Doom and some Knuckles Chaotix, but it looks like unfortunately I'm going to have to rebuy the cable for that, which is not that expensive, but it's just a pain in the butt. I've been playing a little bit of the Sega Saturn still. Been playing mostly just newer Xbox 360, the 360 games I picked up, and Ocarina of Time on the Collector's Edition disc.
Nice.
Yep. How about you?
So just recently I went out to the Nex to get a new webcam since I somehow fried my $20 one. Apparently trying to select the audio feed from it for the microphone somehow made the colors turn red and it barfed all over itself. So I guess that's my lesson learned for buying cheap hardware. But anyways, I was perusing the game section and I found something that looked fairly interesting. I'm a huge fan of Atlas games, Persona, Shin Megami Tensei. I even have Jack Bros for the Virtual Boy, which
nice.
That is my most expensive game, I think. That's like a $200 game. I have the manual with it, no box.
You want me to get a price on that for you?
Yeah, you go ahead and look that up while I talk about what I found though.
Jack Bros, and this is a American copy of Jack Bros?
Yes.
I don't see. There's a 2 loose and a complete. Neither one has the manual. Loose 160.
Yeah, so how much is the complete?
320.
So with the manual, probably about a $200 game.
Give or take.
Yeah.
But what did you pay for that Virtual Boy bundle when you got it?
I got it with, I want to say 7 games total, including Jack Bros, for $215 about.
And the system works.
Yeah, works flawlessly.
Hell of a steal.
Yeah. The only problem is the stand is a little cracked, which I know was a fairly common thing to happen with Virtual Boys. It just wasn't.
Is that fixable?
It's hot glued. I mean,
okay.
so it still holds itself up. It's playable. It is hard to play for extended periods of time, just having to lean into it and watch the red and black constantly. But
Do you get headaches from it?
No headaches. I think it's the same deal with the 3DS, where people were just pushing the 3D up to the limit and not actually adjusting it to what's comfortable for your eyes. Because that was my problem with the 3DS. I was like, turn that slider all the way up for more 3D, right? Instead of realizing that you gotta adjust it for the distance to your face, depth of field, and all that. Once I did that, it was a lot more comfortable to watch on both systems.
Nice.
Yeah. So, anyways, Atlas game that I picked up, Conception 2. Now, I played this for an hour or two yesterday. This is a ridiculous game. So, I'm not going to try to butcher the description of it. I'm just going to read this description straight from the box, because that's the best way I can find. You're going to laugh when you hear this.
Yeah.
When monsters come to a Terra, so too did the disciples, teenagers with a rare ability to hold the fiends back. Unique even among disciples, your 100% success rate at producing star children blesses you with a special burden. Bond with female disciples, raise an army, and help your world survive. Now, did you pick up what that means?
Not exactly. Why don't you tell me?
Breeding.
That's the basis of the game.
Yeah, you must classmate with powerful female disciples to create star children, which are supposedly difficult to produce, but when you first classmate in this game, they say it's like only a few % chance of success between really compatible people, and then you produce triplets right off the bat.
Wow.
It's just really hilarious. The characters are super perverted in the game. Like, there's this old priest, and he's like, oh, the female disciples sure are well developed this time around. Yeah. Like, if you thought Bravely Default had a pervy old man, this one's definitely got it beat.
Awesome.
And the 3D effects do well for that game as well.
Good stuff.
But from what I played, it's pretty fun so far. It's gotten some fairly mixed reviews. I can't wait to dive more into it just to see how it goes.
So I take it the 3DS is region free.
No.
You have a Japanese 3DS?
Yeah, this is an American game right here.
But what about the other game you showed me? Didn't you have a Japanese one?
Senran Kagura Burst. I don't know if they have physical copies of that in America, but that is Japanese here.
Okay, gotcha.
I know it's at least on the eShop after much popular demand.
Okay.
But I ended up getting a Monster Hunter 4 3DS XL bundle, which will probably make a lot of people jealous because Monster Hunter 4 is not slated for release in America till 2015. Yeah, so having that at the end of 2013 was pretty sweet. But, once again, very difficult to play, not knowing my kanji very well, my Japanese. But it is definitely motivation to study up on it. And it's a sexy system. I wish I'd brought it to set next to me to show you next time.
What's the color scheme on it?
Mostly black, gray, and gold. I would pull up an image, but it doesn't really go well with this video format.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'll look it up here in a little.
Yeah, it's a very sleek system. I've gotten a lot of compliments even among the Japanese from it.
Like what?
Oh, sugoi.
They've actually like talked about your 3DS.
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
it was pretty cool. I went to the Pokemon Center in Tokyo, which is a storefront for Pokemon stuff, and I met a guy named Yoshi outside, and he had his 3DS with Mario Kart, and we sat outside playing Mario Kart for like an hour, which is an experience that's very hard to come by in America. You're not just going to randomly run into another person with a 3DS and want to just go gaming together. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, I'm sure it happens out here, but it's not as common. Even I could walk around downtown Charlotte, which is a huge city in North Carolina, and I'm probably not going to get much on like my street pass or anything.
Oh yeah, within 3 months of being here, I'd had almost no street passes. I broke 1,000 from just carrying it around constantly. Yeah, I've stopped doing it so much lately because it gets kind of repetitive, kind of fast, doing Find Me and the puzzles. But yeah, it's really popular around here. It's awesome just being able to ride on the train for an hour and open it up, bam, 10 street passes. Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot more social gaming out here with the 3DS. Only thing that really sucks is while you can get street passes on your American from Japanese 3DSs, any download and play stuff, like if you wanted to play Mario Kart with somebody who had the Japanese one, you can't do that with your American 3DS.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, another thing I picked up for the Japanese 3DS, which hasn't come to America yet, is Puzzles and Dragons. Have you heard of this one?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Puzzles and Dragons Z. It's originally Puzzles and Dragons was an Android app, which was only for the Japanese region, but Americans tended to play it a lot. It's a fairly fun game. I'd consider it like Pokemon, but with puzzle elements. You got the touchscreen at the bottom. You've got to line up different colored elemental spheres into 3 or more lines to attack other monsters and dragons with your party. I ended up beating it, and it turns out there's like an entire another world of content afterwards, but it did get kind of repetitive at that point. I had sunk 20 hours into it though, so really good buy. I believe it's coming to the US sometime this year. So I'd keep an eye out for it. It's kind of kiddie, but still pretty fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye out for it. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So, we have anything else on the docket for today?
I could keep talking about Japan, but I think we'll save that for another time.
I think I'm pretty satisfied for how this episode went, sir. It seemed to have a genuinely good flow and a lot of good talk today. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel good. I like how we've been striving to make at least one improvement per episode, so that by the time I think our first season's over, this is going to be a very well done podcast.
And what are we gonna set episode wise as for our season?
I don't think we have a set limit right now. I'm thinking season 1's gonna end when you come to Japan.
Okay.
Because that's gonna be a big change.
Yeah, let's not put a number cap on it. Let's do it when like a big change happens.
Yeah.
That's what will determine it. That sounds really good, actually.
Because that's gonna change up our entire format. I mean, I don't even know how we're gonna do this then, if we're gonna share.
I'll probably just be podcasting from my room, and you'll be in your room on the other side of the house. So
yeah, I don't want to sit next to you.
I don't either. It'll be interesting. I mean, who knows? I really want to get more guests on the podcast, so like maybe if we have more people in on the conversation, it would be more doable for us to be sitting next to each other.
Yeah, this is true. Do we want to plug who we're bringing in next week and a little preview of what we're going to be doing?
Yeah, I'm not going to name drop anybody, but this is a good friend from mine from high school back in the day. And just if you're... I don't want to build it up, but if you're just into collecting, and especially sealed game collecting, you're gonna definitely want to keep an eye out for this one because this guy has one of the sickest collections I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, rated copies. I forget the name of the rating system that he showed us, but that's the one where it costs like $20. You mail it in, they give it a rating, they put it in a shell case, they slap it on there.
Yeah. The term slips my mind right now too, but yeah, this is gonna be episode 4 is definitely gonna be something interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you're a hardcore collector, you'll want to tune in for this one.
He's gonna be talking about all his collection, and yeah, just tune in. I promise. The episodes keep getting better, and yeah, this is gonna be good.
Yeah,
and also obviously, if you watch this entire episode, you'll also notice our intro at the beginning. That's maybe something we should have addressed in the beginning, but I'm really pleased with it. I think it works really well.
Yeah.
Love our intro song too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed making that. Looks a lot more professional than what we've been doing. Like I said, at least one improvement per episode. You've also definitely noticed that we've got the video quality looking a lot better this time around instead of looking like a cheap Skype call just being recorded.
And it is still a cheap Skype call, but it looks infinitely better.
Oh, definitely. Hey, don't be telling them the technical details.
Yeah.
But I'm very pleased with how this is going. I can't wait to see where we're going to be 20 episodes from now.
It's going to be nothing but good stuff down the line.
And also, next episode, you will finally get some concrete numbers on what we have in the vaults of game collecting.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be the big collection episode.
Yeah, Robert and I will be measuring our collective EPs against each other to see who is the top collector in our family.
And to humble ourselves a little bit, we don't have the collections of anywhere of some people I've seen on YouTube, or even definitely our guest that's coming on next week, but we have some good stuff. So
yeah, I can't wait to do it.
Can we just do episode 4 right now?
I want to do it. Let's just cut this right now. Get your friend on the line. Let's do it. I'm excited. Let's go.
I just sent him a Facebook message.
Wait, are we?
But yeah, we're doing it next week, and now we're doing it next week.
All right.
That would be a lot of recording.
I'm excited, man. I feel really good about this. I want to keep going, but we gotta save the content for next time. We can't just next time, people.
All right, and so yeah, and not to shove a plug down your throat, but if you've made it this far into the video and you enjoyed it, please, it wouldn't hurt to give it a thumbs up, comment, let us know what you liked, and if you're not subscribed already, we're just starting out, and that would just help immensely. So we're not begging for any of it, but if you like what you see, it definitely helps.
Yeah, and even if you don't like what you see, please let us know.
Give us feedback. If you think we suck, let us know how bad we suck.
Yeah.
Not gonna hurt our feelings. It's the internet.
It might hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm sensitive, bro.
You've always been the more sensitive brother.
So, for Brometheus Gaming, I'm Nick.
And I'm Robert.
We'll see you next time.
Adios.